Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. Thank you all so much for being here, your continued love and support here on the channel. Today's pick a card reading, we're going to be doing a message from your spirit team. We are going to have three crystals, or three options, I should say, to choose from today. I am going to be adding in one of these cards to help you guys with choosing, but if you already feel drawn to one of the crystals, you're more than welcome to skip ahead to the timestamp that'll take you directly to your reading. So for group number one, you are going to be this yellow Jasper. And then we have this Obsidian, and I don't know which one this is, but it does have a very slight yellow tint to it, so that's going to be Obsidian. And then group number three, we have a Carnelian heart. Okay, so a message from your spirit team. Let's pull one of these cards for those of you that need the extra help with choosing. A message from your spirit team. So let's pull something for group number one. A message from group number one spirit team. If by chance you do feel drawn to more than one of the groups, that is perfectly okay for today's reading. So let's take a look at what we've got. So for group number one, we have card number 5 with transition. And that is going to be with the yellow Jasper. Group number 2, a message from your spirit team. We have card number 14, Harvest. And that is with this Obsidian. For group number 3, we have card number 39, Remember Who You Are, and that is with the Carnelian heart. Okay. So those are the choices for today. Group number 1, Transition with the yellow Jasper. Group number 2 with Harvest and the Obsidian. Group number 3 with Remember Who You Are with the Carnelian. Timestamps will be down below for you guys, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, Group 1. So those of you that resonated with the Transition card, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out a message from your spirit team. This is something having to do with transition. We do have a number 5 here. The 5s are about change. So let's take a look and see what is coming through. A message from your spirit team. We're going to do one more. So group number 1, a message from your spirit team. What is the message your spirit team has for you at this time? We've got the 4 of Stones, which this is the 4 of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Skies, which is the 9 of Swords. We have the 8 of Trees in reverse. This is the 8 of Wands in reverse. Message from your spirit team. We've got The Spinner of Threads. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Message from Group 1's Spirit Team. We have the Queen of Trees, which is the Queen of Wands. We have Strength. And we have the Nine of Trees, which is the Nine of Wands. Now, I am using the Witch Sister Tarot. If you have this deck, you'll notice that mine is a little different than yours. And it is because I had to go in and put clothes on the people in this deck because I really love this deck and I had to alter it a little bit, and I had to go in with my markers and paint some clothes on them. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to use it. And then we have the Four of Waters, which is the Four of Cups. Okay, bottom of the deck, we've got the Eight of Stones, which is the Eight of Pentacles. And then we have the Chariot here at the bottom, which is flight in this deck. Okay, so the change, the transition, it kind of feels like some of you may have been dealing with delays, setbacks, maybe not seeing the changes that you've wanted to see in your life, things just not moving in the way that you wanted them to. And because of this, this may have caused a lot of fears, a lot of insecurities, a lot of feeling unhappy, discontent with the way that things maybe have been recently. Some of you, this could even be having to do with like your finances, with financial situation not improving, not changing. And I feel like with the Chariot being here, the Chariot and the Eight of Pentacles, this is changing in, especially with the Wheel of Fortune being here. The Wheel of Fortune brings in change, most definitely. But in this case, this is change for the better. The Eight of Pentacles is also a good place to be in financially as well. It's a lot of dedication, hard work, effort, discipline, consistency, commitment to, basically not giving up. We have the Queen of Wands energy here. The Queen of Wands is also a very strong, confident, passionate energy. And the Strength card is also here, which is helping you to find inner strength, courage, bravery, confidence, to remain calm as best you can, to kind of pull through this energy. And the Chariot being here is powerful movement forward. So I feel like this message today, for those of you that chose and resonate with this, with the message from your spirit team, is your spirit team wanting to let you know that if you have been experiencing setbacks, delays, challenges, you feel like you've been going through a lot, you've been expending a lot of your energy, it's been causing a lot of, insecurities, fears, worries, stressing, unhappiness, discontent, not being happy with the way that things have been, that is changing. Okay? That is changing in a very powerful way. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune here, which is a change. It's going to be a change for the better. The Wheel of Fortune brings in brings in good luck. It brings in sometimes unexpected income. Okay, if you've been, you know, trying to look for a job, or, you know, something that's going to help to improve your financial situation. That could even be something that happens in terms of an opportunity kind of coming in for you. I'm seeing the Ace of Cups is also here at the bottom we've got Ancient Starlight. This is the Star card. So this can certainly be bringing in beautiful opportunities for you. And yeah, Wheel of Fortune brings in good luck, abundance, positive change into our life, opportunities. The Star is about wish fulfillment, okay? It's also about having faith, trust, believing in something. So if you may have been in that place where you could have like lost hope that things were going to improve, or that they weren't going to change, or, you know, they weren't going to work out, you know, in a certain way. I do feel like this is your spirit team kind of coming in with confirmation that things are going to start moving, and they're going to start moving very quickly for you in the right direction. You know, sometimes, you know, we get a little bit frustrated because certain things don't happen exactly when we want them to. And sometimes it is because things are, you know, aligning for us energetically, and it's just not time yet. And there's a need for us, especially with the Wheel of Fortune being here. Wheel of Fortune is about going with the flow. And so this kind of makes me feel like things are aligning for you now. Some of you are going to start experiencing these changes within the next month, okay? Where things really start to take off for you. So whenever you're tuning into this reading, if the messages, the energy that's coming through here does resonate for you, trust that that is your message, okay? 1 month from now, you're going to really start to see things change for the better in a very positive, powerful way. The Chariot is about willpower. It's about determination. It's about success, victory, being able to kind of move through this energy and make the progress and to see the success that you want to see. Okay, maybe that means achieving a goal. Maybe it means some powerful improvement for some of you in terms of your finances. Some of you, this could even be, you know, healing and opening yourself up to new love connections, fated connections that could be coming into your life. So expect positive change the next month. Okay. Let's see here. I actually feel like I want to clarify the Wheel of Fortune. Let's see. Clarify the Wheel of Fortune here. Blessings, abundance, wish fulfillment. We've got the King of Skies, which is the King of Swords. We have the Seven of Skies, which is the Seven of Swords. And then we have the Maid of Skies. The Maid, is that? I can't remember if the Maid is the Page. Yeah, I think it is the Page. The Page of Swords. So I feel like some of you are waiting for some kind of communication, some kind of news, okay? And I do feel like you are going to receive that communication. It is going to be something that's positive, okay? Good news. Some of you may, like I said, have been feeling a little bit insecure about something, worried about something, stressing out about something. But I feel like you are going to receive the clarity that you need. You're going to be able to really be in a very beautiful headspace, being able to see things clearly, think clearly, take decisive action. This could even be making some type of changes, okay? For some of you, because we are going through transition. I want to get a little bit more information about this. this transition for group 1. We've got the 4 of Trees, which is the 4 of Wands. The 9 of Waters, which is the 9 of Cups. And then we have the 10 of Skies in reverse, which is the 10 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, it feels like something that you've been really stressing out about or worrying about. Like, we're releasing that energy. We're moving into a place of balance again, of harmony. The 9 of Cups is a feeling of happiness, joy, satisfaction, contentment. So I do feel like with these changes that are going to be taking place in your life, I'm almost kind of getting this energy of like, we can relax now. We can breathe. We can breathe easier. We feel better. We're releasing stress, anxiety, fear, worrying. Things are kind of like either back to where they need to be, where you feel comfortable and good, or they're better than you anticipate. And it is because of you're finally seeing something move in a positive, powerful direction that it helps to kind of lift your spirits in a way. Okay, so definitely something to look forward to here. Some of you, you're going to hear something maybe even as soon as the next 7 days. Start to seeing things shifting. So the next 7 week, okay, to the next month. All right, so that is all that I have for you, group 1. I do hope this was helpful for you guys. I've missed you guys so much. I want to say that. I've missed you guys so much. Because of this whole move and everything being crazy all over the place, I've not been able to, just kind of sit down and record. I've had a lot of people in and out of the house, which gets annoying, even though they're kind of delivering furniture and stuff like that. It's just been crazy. And I'm just so ready to be back in my routine. I can't even tell you guys. I've missed you guys so much. But yeah, I'll leave you with that. I've missed you guys. You guys mean so much to me. I love you all. Thank you so much for your support. And I will see you guys in the next reading. Hi, group 2. So those of you that resonated with the Harvest card and the Obsidian, this is going to be your reading today. So we're getting a message from your spirit team. We have Harvest here. So let's see what is coming through. Group number 2. I want to let you guys know that I've missed you guys so much. There's been so much going on with, just going through the move and getting settled, having people being in and out of the house, delivering furniture, which hasn't made it so great for me to be able to sit down in peace and quiet and record. And I've missed you guys so much, and I'm so looking forward to just kind of getting back into my routine. I do have another delivery scheduled though, but it's going to be on the weekend, so it shouldn't affect my schedule so much for recording for you guys. But I truly appreciate all of you. And love you guys so much. So let's take a look. Group number 2. A message from your spirit team. We have the Witch of Waters. The Witch of Waters. And I'm using the Witch Sister Tarot. If you do have this deck too, mine might look a little different than yours because this deck has a lot of imagery in it that is not the most YouTube friendly. And I had to alter mine a little bit, okay? So you might notice it looks a little different. Group number 2. We've got the 10 of Skies, which is the 10 of Swords. The Maid of Waters. So I think, hold on a second. This is the Knight. The witches are the Knight. So this is the Knight of Cups. And then we've got the Page of Cups, which is the Maid of Waters. And then we have the Hermit. The Ace of Skies, which is the Ace of Swords. Okay, so I'm already kind of getting this message for group 2 has to do with your state of being in terms of your emotions. It comes from healing, and it kind of looks like a lot of you have been really working on healing from something very painful. This could be a breakup, it could be romantic related, but there's been a lot of focus on healing, a lot of you spending time to reflect, maybe some self-love, nurturing yourself. And with the Ace of Swords being here, the Ace of Swords is a breakthrough. It's clarity. It's listening to your soul's truth. And some of you might even be in that position where you're going to be ready for opening up your heart again to new love, new experiences romantically. Some of you might not be there yet, you know, and that can be part of this energy about the need or importance for you to spend some time alone. Okay, the Hermit is an energy of solitude. It is about introspection and reflection. Page of Cups can even be, you know, connected to our inner child. Here we have a little girl who's kind of dipping her hands in that bowl of water. So some of you that have been, you know, needing to focus on healing your inner child, self-love, spending some time alone, and really deeply focusing on the self. Some of you might be in that space. Okay, and if you are and you're still going through it, then I do feel like this could be confirmation for you that, you know, to honor this time, honor your feelings, and wherever you're at right now energetically, give yourself that time, give yourself that nurturing that you might need at this time. Some of you are going to be coming out of it because you've already been doing the work, right? You've already been doing this reflection and healing and stuff like that. But others of you, you're just kind of like in it right now and having to spend some time for you. Okay? And if that is you and you're still hurting, okay, I feel like this is confirmation that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I know sometimes it's hard when we're dealing with something painful that we're going through. And, you know, of course, everybody has heals and deals with things in their own way, and sometimes it can be hard to imagine, you know, what it's going to look like or feel like when we're on the other side. But I feel like this is where Spirit is saying to you to be patient, okay, with this process. Be kind to yourself, be gentle. A message from your spirit team. We have the Sun here. We have the Ten of Stones, which is the Ten of Pentacles. And then we have the, yeah, look at that. Five of Waters. That's the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is grief, sadness, sometimes depression, disappointment, a feeling of discouragement. Some of you could have recently ended a marriage, a long-term relationship. Some of you, this could even be a situation where you had anticipated or even expected a situation with the person to turn out a certain way and it didn't, and that is painful. We have the Ace of Cups here at the bottom. So some of you, that Ace of Cups message is about a time for emotional release, a time for healing, okay? For others of you, like I said, you might be in a different place energetically. You could be putting this period of time behind you, okay? Behind you, and this is where that breakthrough comes, the clarity, the healing, the emotional release, the feeling of, you know, if you guys have ever had that feeling where after you have like a really good cry, you feel better, you take that deep breath after crying, and it just kind of helps you to feel a lot better, you know? As you kind of honor and kind of allow yourself to process whatever it is, because this could even be stuff that we're purging that's from the past, you know? I had a little situation happen to me over the weekend. My husband and I were traveling out of town. Unexpectedly, we did have a family member that passed away last week. So we had to, that's why I didn't post anything last week. We had a lot going on with family. But, you know, I had a little bit of that just kind of energy that was totally not something that I was thinking about. And it just, all of a sudden, it just came up. And it was happening while my husband and I were driving. I wasn't driving, but I was sitting there, you know, just kind of processing something. And, you know, so sometimes it can happen when you least expect it. And it's important for you to not suppress it. Just let it be, let it come. Let yourself feel it and move through it. Observe what it is that you're experiencing and allow for that release to happen. You know, for me, it was something that came up from my past that I hadn't thought about in a long time. And I think it was just dealing with the passing of another family member, that it was just kind of bringing up a whole bunch of other stuff that I needed to kind of work through. So, you know, like I said, everybody has their own time in the way that they kind of process things. But certainly give yourself that time that you need to process, you know, even if it is things that are coming up for you from your past, from your childhood. The sun is here. You know, the sun is a beautiful, brilliant, bright energy. It's your life force energy. It is our life force energy. And so, you know, this is certainly about us being able to understand that the emotions that we experience are temporary, you know. The sun is about being optimistic. It's about experiencing feelings of joy and happiness. And sometimes when we're going through a lot of painful things and processing grief and sadness and, you know, dealing with difficult emotions, it's hard for us to feel joy, which is joy is another emotion, you know? And so I feel like as much as we can allow ourselves to experience pain and grief and sadness, we have to also take that time to allow ourselves to also experience joy and to, you know, be a part of things in our life that allow us to feel that feeling, or to get back to that feeling of joy and happiness. You know, some of you could be gaining closure, you know, that's happening for you, closure. Like I said, some of you can be in a place of being open and ready for new love, new romantic connections. So that can also be something to look forward to here as well. And also your harvest card here is number 14. 14 is the temperance card within the tarot. Temperance is about balance. It's about healing. It's about, you know, mind, body, spirit being in a beautiful balanced state. It's about the transmutation of energy, changing, transforming. And I like the way that this Knight of Cups energy is, the way that she's depicted in that card, because it kind of looks like the way that the water is kind of like around her, where she's got her eyes closed and she's just kind of taken in with the water, with the feelings, with the emotions. You know, just kind of taking that moment. Even her too, she looks like she's very focused, she's very intentional and purposeful in what it is that she's doing. Okay? So I feel like I want to clarify the Hermit here. Why is the Hermit here? We've got the Seven of Trees. This is the Seven of Wands. We have the Maid of Trees, which is the Page of Wands. And then we also have the Eight of Trees, which is the Eight of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is about perseverance, you know, and I feel like this also says a lot about your resilience. The Page of Wands is about starting down a new path. Okay. It's also an energy that when we are starting down that new path, it is filled with excitement, with enthusiasm, with passion, with desire, with creativity. It kind of puts us into a new energy to experience new things in a new way. Like I said, many of you are going to be having a breakthrough here. Some of you can come through as, you know, the clarity that comes after the release of certain feelings, emotions. Some of you, like I said, it's closure, you know, being able to close one chapter of your life, the door of your, you know, the past, and just kind of start fresh, start new, and open yourself up to a new beginning. And I am seeing the Wheel of Fortune here at the bottom of the deck. It is called the Spinner of Threads in this deck, the Witch Sister Tarot. Okay. And I'm also seeing the Eight of Waters here, which is the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups is about letting go. It's about emotional detachment. So there could be certain things that we've been dealing with or processing that have been quite intense. And so this is us now, you know, kind of detaching, disconnecting from certain people, certain situations. The Wheel of Fortune certainly brings in change. So the Wheel of Fortune is about us dealing with the ups and downs of life, the cycles of life, the ebb and flow, and the changes that take place. It's definitely moving, you know, in a new direction. So, you know, saying goodbye to the old, welcoming in the new energy, new love. And it may even be, you know, not so much even experiencing love with a new person, but it's also having a deeper interconnectedness with the self, you know, through your own exploring your own deeper emotions and understanding yourself on a deeper level, because you have taken that time, you know, for you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave this here for you. Group number 2. I do hope this was helpful for you all. Again, I've missed you guys so much. Looking forward to getting back into our little routine here. And I look forward to reading for you guys again in the next reading. Hi, Group 3. So those of you that resonated with the card number 39, it says, remember who you are, with your little carnelian heart here. So we're going to be getting a message from your spirit team. A message from your spirit team for group number 3. Let's do one more shuffle. And I am using the Witch Sister Tarot today. If any of you do also own this deck, you'll notice that mine is a little different because I had to modify mine a little bit in order to make it more YouTube friendly, okay? There's a lot of imagery on this in this deck that is not the most YouTube friendly, so I had to fix that because I really love this deck so that I could use it. So group 3, a message from your spirit team. We've got remember who you are. Remember who you are. Group number 3. We've got the Page of Cups, the Ace of Wands, have Niven, which is the High Priestess. We also have the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Trees. Message from your spirit team, group number 3. We have the Four of Wands. Just going to move these down. We also have the Ten of Trees, which is the Ten of Wands. Remember who you are. Okay, so we've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Spinner of Threads in this deck. We have the Three of Stones in reverse, which is the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And then we also have the Eight of Skies, which is the Eight of Swords. Oh, well, we have to cover something up a little bit. Okay, so we've got the 5, is that going to work? The 5 of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. And then we have the Seven of Cups here at the bottom, the Seven of Waters. So let me just take a moment with this. Remember who you are. The Three of Pentacles is in reverse, the Ten of Wands. Well, with the Five of Pentacles being here, this is the feeling of lack. Feeling of emptiness, void, unworthiness. And then you have the Eight of Swords here, which is about a lot of negative thinking, self-limiting beliefs. The Three of Pentacles in reverse is when, I mean, some of you could be having issues at work with other people, even getting along with others. No, I don't want to limit it to just say that it's work related. But it could even be surrounding, you know, being surrounded by people, family members, friends, coworkers that are making you feel shut out, that are making you feel like you don't belong, or you feel like you're not fitting in, or you feel like you're missing something, lacking something, you don't, you know, just like you don't have something. And this in itself can be something that's making you feel like this heaviness, feeling stressed out, feeling overwhelmed, feeling just burdened by something heavy. You know, and it may not even be something that you're dealing with right now. It could be something that has made you feel this way in the past. Some of you are needing to set boundaries with people to protect yourself, to protect your energy. And I love the way that you have kind of like the High Priestess here. Because the High Priestess is a very powerful energy. It is one that is extremely wise and very knowledgeable. I feel that many of you have also some very powerful intuitive gifts and abilities. And there may be a lot of illusions that you might have about yourself, or even like, how are other people looking at me, or how are they perceiving me? And I feel like your spirit team is trying to come through here to kind of, really kind of shake you and say, like, remember who you are. Because even when I look at this 10 of Wands here, here we're kind of looking at an old woman, an older woman, and it just kind of gives me that energy of for some of you, you might resonate with the like being an old soul, okay? And I feel like there's so much power that you hold within you. Maybe even untapped potential that spirit is wanting you to shift the way in which you feel about yourself. If you feel like you're not good enough, or you're unworthy, or just something here. Queen of Wands, the Witch of Waters, which is the Knight of Cups, and then we have the 9 of Wands here. Yeah, some of you may have really been, going through it recently with friends, with family members, with coworkers, dealing with life situations that have really, made you feel, I don't want to necessarily say just like stressed out, but it feels like a lot of this has been weighing on you, I do want to clarify this High Priestess here. We have the Land, which is the World card. Yeah, even here, the way it kind of gives like that crone energy. The High Priestess it can also talk about like our past lives. The way that she's kind of holding her heart here. Let's see. The Tree of Life. This is the Emperor. Let's get one more. King of Skies. Wow. That is the King of Swords, and the Magician is at the bottom. This is also just a very powerful animal. This is a stag, which the stag is kind of like the leader, right, of the forest in a way. The King of Swords is also like a symbol of like higher consciousness, clarity, truth. So this almost kind of feels like you stepping into who you're truly meant to be. This feels like mastery of the 3D world, as well as wisdom and knowledge. I feel that those of you, this pile feels different. This group feels different. This feels like those of you that are watching this and this is resonating for you, it feels like you are old souls. It feels like you are someone who's lived many lifetimes. And there's a lot of wisdom and knowledge of the 3D realm that you have access to. It's like Spirit saying, you've done this before. That this is very kind of giving me like the crone energy. You know, some of you could be needing to step into a role of as a teacher. Okay, and it doesn't need to be a teacher in a traditional sense, in the way that we think about somebody who teaches like grade school or high school or, you know, university kind of courses and classes. This feels like something a little different. This feels that some of you could be teaching something. Some of you have having to do with spirituality. Okay. Some of you, this can, because I'm looking at the world card here, it says the land and how she's got her hand across her chest. It kind of makes me feel some of you might even have a very strong connection to animals or to Mother Earth. The tree of life. This could be environment. You know, maybe certain kinds of jobs or career fields, or even some kind of activism. Okay. The King of Swords is also about, not only about wisdom and knowledge, but it's also like your voice, the power of your voice, leading, teaching, instructing, sharing wisdom and knowledge that you have, that you've gained. Maybe it's life experience, stories that you're sharing. The Emperor energy is also incredibly powerful. It's about stability, directing, you know, people, teaching people, guiding people. And then you have the Magician energy here. The Magician is also about manifestation, willpower, focused intention, creating your reality. So I feel like I want to look at this. Remember who you are here. Number 39. The number 39, the 3 is the Empress, the 9 is the Hermit. The Hermit is about self-discovery. The Hermit is also an incredibly wise energy, and I feel like you are a very wise soul, group 3. We have Justice. Justice. Remember who you are. Justice. Some of you, this could even be advocating for justice in some way, you know, whether it's for the environment, the land. The Empress is also very connected to Mother Earth as well. It's about children. The Empress is connected to children, to mothers, to the environment, okay, the earth, nature, animals, plants, trees, ocean, natural resources, with Justice being here. So maybe some of you have something to say, or something to fight for, something to advocate for. Because justice is about what is more morally or ethically correct. It's about fairness. It's about truth. It's about integrity, honesty, making good choices. Some of you, the King of Swords is also about power and authority. The Emperor is also an authority. So maybe some of you are, you know, are meant to be some type of authority figure, or meant to provide guidance or mentorship, or, you know, the King of Swords has to do with facts. It has to do with truth, logic, Maybe some of you are meant to work with the legal justice system, lawyers, attorneys. You know, King of Swords also could have to do with like military law enforcement, which also makes me think about revealing, because the High Priestess is about things that are hidden, concealed, and the King of Swords is about truth. So this could be even like revealing truth, sharing truth, speaking truth. The Nine of Wands, the Nine of Trees. You're resilient. Remember who you are. Resilient. Powerful. Wow. The Queen of Elfame. This is the Empress. Remember who you are. The Empress. Wow. And you have both the Empress and the Emperor here. Divine Feminine. But yeah, the archetype of the Empress is, like I said, mothers, children, the earth. So whether you are someone who advocates for the rights of children somehow, some way, for working with females, okay, mothers, or like I said, the environment in some way, animals, plants. This is a beautiful energy. The Tree of Life, the land. The World. I mean, it is the World card. Also, I noticed there's a little heart here in the tree. Maybe this is communicating something that's important to you, of value, something that you're meant to share. Because the King of Swords also is about communication, communicating truth. You know, if you're someone who very strongly has beliefs about the environment, about, you know, natural resources, about lakes, rivers, oceans, the rainforest, right? Mountains. It feels like you have a very strong connection to, like, literally the land. So if you feel called to that path, okay, whether it is for children, mothers, females, okay, feminines, or something having to do with the environment here, I really feel like this is where this is something that you're needing to do. Okay? Maybe it's the stories that you share. Maybe it's the hardships that you've gone through. If you're someone who is, you know, the Five of Pentacles can talk about poverty, about homelessness, about not having food, not having shelter, being able to also have the ability to create wealth and abundance. You know, some of you might have stories to share about how you went from poverty to, or homelessness, not having what you need, into, you know, turning into that Empress. I mean, she's got a beautiful dress on, you know? So some of you, this could be sharing the story of how you've come from lack and completely changed your life around. How you went from despair and helplessness into an empowered version of you. Okay? There's something here that you're meant to share, something that you have wisdom about, knowledge. You know, some of you have gone and have a lot of stories to share about your journey here on earth and what that's like been like for you. You know, the Wheel of Fortune is here, which is the ups and downs of life, the ebb and flow, the changes maybe that you've had to go through, you know, hitting rock bottom and rising. So, you know, when we're in that Five of Pentacles energy, we feel like we have, like there's no hope, like we're helpless, that there's nothing that we can do to change our situation. But this is Spirit saying, remember who you are. You are the Empress. You're resilient. You know, especially if you're going through this right now and you've lost your job and income is not the greatest, or life has kind of, you know, brought you down a road or a path that has not been the greatest right now. Remember who you are. You can change this. You can turn it around. You can start to take decisive action to changing things, to empowering yourself, to living a more empowered life, because with the Empress being here, the Empress is also about abundance, about prosperity, about recognizing what your worth is, what your value is. It's about self-love. It's about knowing that you're worthy of receiving love, of receiving abundance, of creating, of manifesting. You know, so even during those times where we could be experiencing a change in fortune or, you know, not good things in our life, that it's temporary. We can change it. And I feel like that is what Spirit is wanting to remind you of. We don't have to stay in that energy. You're wise. You know, and I'm sure that there's been a lot of things that you have learned, right? Where we kind of, when we make decisions, right? The Justice card is here, which is about making choices. It's about choosing the best for our highest good. And so we can say, okay, where am I at right now? Do I like what's happening? What choices have led me here? And making different choices moving forward, right? That are going to better help us to achieve the results that we want to see in our life. And I feel like Spirit's saying you have the power to do that. Okay? The Emperor is also about action. It's about getting things done. Some of you, this is about creating a new foundation for yourself, a new life for yourself, building a new, you know, maybe moving from a place of instability and insecurity into a place of stability. Holding on to the vision, the dream, the goal, and start being more strategic, planning something, taking action. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave this here for you, group 3. I do hope this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one.